I just sold a set of E-codes online. This was a FCP had a clearance sale last year, so I picked up a couple pairs. And these are, they're a little loose inside in the housing, as you can see. I've pulled off the lens. I just kind of want to show you guys what's going on here. If you're interested in E-codes, they're really quite cool. They've got a little foam gasket that goes all around. And then these clips that are just real easy to pop off with the screwdriver, they kind of sit on the edges here. They're very clearly marked on each side. There's two on each side. And then right here's where the turn housing goes. The turn signals are different on these. They slide in versus the later 240s. I think they have a screw on the later ones, or on the US ones. So all the European styles are different. Anyway, to clear this looseness in here, sometimes these clips break if they're older headlights. Like when I got my first set of E-codes, they were used and they had broken clips, so I had to kind of retrofit something. But in here, you can see the backside of the clip is just a little pop that goes into the ball, and that ball is there for this adjuster screw so you can adjust the height of it. So with the lens popped off, you just press it back into place. They get a little popped out during shipping, so there's really no issue there in terms of replacing them. Just be careful that you don't ever pry against the glass. You will break it. Always when you're prying these clips, you want to just get it from the sides here. So other than that, these E-codes are pretty cool. There's when you buy them new, they do come packaged in here. You have to be careful that you see all these indents on the side. You got to be careful not to let these break, because it sits really tight up against in there. So we're gonna have to double box it. And I want to show you, they also come with the 3 nuts that attach here, here, here to the housing. And as far as I understand, these should fit perfectly on any 240 that uses the later style. They also do have a trim piece that goes up on top. You can see one screw hole here, one screw hole there. I don't have that trim piece. It doesn't come with the light separately. You have to buy it for like another $10, which is no problem. And then the boot on the back here for the light bulb. I don't think there's a part that's marked top or bottom. No, looks pretty symmetrical, so I just sort of put it on. You'll see where you line it up, because the it's got to have a little stretch. You can see that the bulb is not going to be center right now. It sits a little bit low. But to keep everything safe, we'll just stick that on there. Voila. Pretty cool headlights. Let me pop it on and then I'll show you how the whole assembly looks finished. Oh, another thing to mention is the light bulbs are different on these. They don't use the 9003 or 9004. I don't actually remember exactly what size the US Volvo headlights are, but these use, I think, just plain old H4 or H7. H4 bulbs. Yeah, H4, because they have a built-in high beam. H7s are just single filament, I believe. Okay, so the gasket's, you know, it's got a little wobble to it right now as you sort of set the lens back on. But I always start on the glass because I don't want this snapping over and hitting the glass. So let's see. Yeah. See, because as you push it tight, when it reaches that final ledge, it'll snap down, and that, you know, could crack the glass if you do it too hard. So I always start from the glass and work my way back. If it's a little too difficult to start, I don't ever force it. I'll just move on to the next clip and go from there. I try to do the easiest ones first because I know that those are going to be with the least risk of cracking or breaking anything. Okay, one side. Oops. That's not where it goes. Right there. There we go. That's a tight fit on that one, and kind of a loose fit on that one. That's a problem with plastic housings. They're so big that there's a lot of room for wiggles, and that could be useful, but that could also be a problem. Nope, see, that clip slipped off right there. I'll try it again. Okay, still pretty tight on these, but that's okay. And our final clip, there we go. Okay, These are not OE CVAs, these are reproduction Copart Sweden. This is the right side headlamp. The part number is 344300002. The left side is going to be 0001. And voila. Your quick lens change on a European Volvo 240 headlight. There's also a stamp on the side here that says R for right. Of course, you're really not going to mix it up because when you set it down, you'll see, oh, there's the side it's going to go on. It always kind of opens up toward the middle of the car. So if you are not sure which one you're shopping for, based on the photos, just look at the taller side versus the slightly narrower side and the turn signal. On the back, the adjusters do go diagonally. You know, this is the bottom and this is the top. And the easiest giveaway is where the trim piece holes are, right up top here. Up here is an air hole, and down here is also another air hole, but this is also a water drain. If you ever get any water or condensation in the headlight, they should kind of evaporate through these two holes. That's very important because you don't want any water or moisture inside the headlight. Thankfully, it's easy to get to the back of it and remove that, but I'm dealing with condensation issues on my BMW, for example, and that's a common thing on those cars, even though they're plastic lenses. So these are great. And you can always put a protective film on the lens to protect it from rock chips on the road, because if you can crack a windshield with a truck in front of you, you can certainly break one of these. And they might cost a little bit more than you want to replace. Oh, look at that. It's happened to this side as well. Are you having this issue with your E-codes? Let me show you how to fix it. We're going to start by popping off these clips. There's 8 of them total, all around. Never, ever, ever pry against the glass. Always pry against the plastic. And don't even use that much force, to be honest. They don't need it. Those little plastic adjusters are just the worst because I've had issues with them on both the brand new sets of E-codes that I bought and the used set that I got from Sweden. It sounds like we've got a broken one in here because I can hear it rattling around. Now I'll put the glass face down, and there's a nice foam seal all around that I'll just loosen up. There it is. Just pop it in. Boom. The rest of them are nice and set. If you really want to just blind everybody on the road, drill out those 2 rivets there, remove this reflector housing, and you're going to get a full bulb exposure. It's going to be horribly bright. Please don't do that. But if you wanted to, that's kind of how it goes. You can see in here, there's no mirror on the backside of that little bit. It's just all the reflection is done through that chrome-plated housing. And the rest of this is pretty cheap. These are the first things to break during shipping, in addition to those clips. And now that everything's back on, we'll stick the lens right back on it. Another thing to note is these are aftermarket clips. I wonder if the OE clips are going to be even more thick and harder to snap in place, and therefore actually hold tighter, but also a little more dangerous because you can break the plastic with a stronger clip, and you can break the glass with a stronger clip, I mean. I wonder. And clip number 8. Okay. I'm gonna package up this side as well, send it off to get shipped, and we're ready to go. These are going to Puerto Rico. Boy, these adjusters are real tight. They're tight, but they're not sticking. That's the good thing. They move very smoothly. That's another thing to check. I think I've just about exhausted everything there is to cover on these E-codes. So, voila. It's like my go-to phrase lately. Anyway, hope it's been informative to you. Yep, they take an H4, 60 and 55 watts. Thanks as always for watching.